Welcome everybody, thanks for joining us. And yeah, we just recently had a glaze firing on Saturday, this Saturday night past, and I was actually running a workshop, and I was trying to get the kiln fired before the workshop, but I didn't make it, so we included that as a little bit of that in part of the workshop, so that was quite good. And we yeah, I did some decorating and spraying with wood ash, you know, and this is the result of the firing. I just thought I'd share it with you. So we'll talk about, that's basically there, what you see on the table there. Yeah, we had quite a few tankards. I had some that I did in Temuku, which, in fact, this is a Temuku glaze that I got from my brother Jeremy. It's actually called Mrs. Newton's Temuku. And it's always worked so well, you know. And then not so long ago I went to use it and something had happened to it. I don't know what had happened. Or I mixed up a fresh batch, you know. And do you ever do that? You mix it up again, and for some reason it just does not come out. So, and I was convinced that the reason it was not coming out properly was because I had been using natural red iron oxide, and I should have been using synthetic red iron oxide. So I was hoping that the results of this firing would prove me right, but unfortunately still a problem remained. Well, you're probably thinking, well, I can't see any problem, Simon, it looks fine. Well, you probably can't see it, but maybe you can. But this is supposed to be like black here, and it's supposed to break brown, you know, like it has done along the top here. That's fine, but where the decoration, it hasn't really broken properly, and I can tell there's something going on there that I don't know what it is. I've got to do some detective work to figure that one out. Anyway, that was those guys. I had a batch of these iron slip with my white glaze over the top. They came out pretty well. For the most part, I was pleased with them. So you get a little bit of the iron breaking through the iron spotting, you know. Yeah, so I was in general pleased with those. Good reduction here on the clay body. So yeah, some of them where the iron hadn't come through quite so much. So the two things that really got, yeah, and this one actually had, oh, this was the one that was on the bottom. Can you see this one's got a few bloats just in the base here, just there. That was the only one that had bloats. So that was down the bottom of the kiln, and that's kind of hot down there, but so that's the rest of those in that glaze. I had a few, we did a few with the, you know, like the naked clay, and then the scratched decoration with a lemon zester, just glazed over the rim here and the handle and the inside. So a few of those, they came out okay, they're fine. And what else? Yes, a few of these tankards again, this time in my white glaze with the lower down my father's iconic foxglove decoration. A few of those. The difference you see in these two, the one on the left here, you see the iron is a bit more interesting, which is what I like, as opposed to the one on the right, perhaps. Anyway, yeah, I had a half dozen or so of those, but then we did on the I glazed some of these in Celadon. So this is a Celadon example with the foxglove that I quite like, actually. They came out pretty handsome, actually, I think. So that's those. Okay, moving on. I did those beakers, remember we talked about? I did a few beakers, and I did them in an assortment of deco. This is like a Hakami sort of like white slip, and then I did a decoration which you can see there with the Hakami, and then blown over with wood ash glazed on the inside. So yeah, these are all a little bit different, if you know what I mean. Each one's a little bit. I was playing around a bit. I was sort of. They're not exactly. They're repeat shape, but not a repeat decoration, if you get me. So that was that. What else? This was on the bottom of the kiln. Was not very interesting. Don't like it particularly, but you know, it's not what I wanted to be. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get to like it. You know, it's one of those pots. Yeah, because I was wanting it to come out more like those tankards over there, you know, with the iron coming through, and it hadn't done it. So yeah, it was like a measure of disappointment, you know, as you do get, you know. Whoops, sorry folks. When you fire a kiln and it doesn't come out just as you expect it to. So this is again the same glaze, wax resist, and then a bit of iron spotting coming through here, as you can see. A little bit of thicker up here where it's a little bit grey blue. But yeah, that's quite nice. What else? We had one of these star paddled pots. Oh, this one had a little decoration I decided to put on the inside. With this one, actually, I don't know if you can see it just there, it just stuck the lid just a very little bit. And that's because after I'd sprayed it with the wood ash, the lid got moved, just like that. It moved over, you see. So then it was touching the ash, so it stuck a little bit, but it came off. Quite nice, yeah. Perhaps it would have been nicer if I'd given it a bit more wood ash. Okay. We had a little tiny. These are just sort of things I was playing around with. Actually, this is just a leftover little pot that a little lidded pot for mustard or something like that. And then this is a little oil lamp. So you put olive oil in here and a wick out here, and you got yourself a little lamp. Olive oil burns very nicely. What else? Yeah, I had some of those pestles and mortars that you saw me making. Here they are. They're finished. Yeah, they came out quite handsome. These are the ones you saw me impressing. We talked about that. These are the ones that I made very slightly deeper than I usually do. So nicely reduced, clay body nice and brown there. So there they are. Quite solid little fellows, you know. I had a few more of those beakers just to show you. This is a different with a different decoration. These are sort of repeated. A few more here. You see with the impressed round the base. Here, wood ash, just glazed over the rim with an iron oxide fleck with cobalt banding. They quite nice. Quite like those. These are nice little mugs or tumblers or beakers. This is a different one. This was a one-off. Was with a different glaze. This kind of came out quite interesting, and I flicked wood, iron oxide and cobalt. You see these flecks, I flick them over. Yeah, so quite pleasing. We'll repeat something like that again, I think. I had one second, which was this fella. You can see the crack there in the bottom, and I think that was because this one actually, I think I threw it with a, you can actually see the light through that guy. Can you see the crack there? Yeah. Well, maybe for putting pens in or something. Yeah, I think I threw him a bit thin in the face. Oh, this is the harvest ring jug or pitcher or whatever you want to call it, a harvest ring, which came out quite nice. You can see, yes, I intentionally put a bit more wood ash here. I was hoping it would run down, and it has done a little bit. Not quite so much on this side perhaps, but yeah, I was quite pleased with that. I mean, the person I think who it's for will like it. And this is also, I had an Amish guy come round here to pottery, and I put him on the potter's wheel, as one does, you know, and I said, okay, here's a lump of clay, let's see what you can make. Well, anyway, no, he had to go, and I helped him, and then he struggled, and then he made a bit of a mess, and then I finished it off for him. So he ended up, I fired it for him, and we'll take it over to him. Yeah, just a kind of a short dumpy pitcher. A dumpy pitcher with a celadon and wood ash glaze. But anyway, yeah, quite nice. He should be pleased with those, I hope. This was a glaze actually that I mixed up. I got it from a friend of mine, Greg, and it was supposed to be called Sea Crest. It was supposed to be, well, I liked it, and it was like a bluey colour, but this has not come out on this T-bowl very bluey. But I think you may see it's got quite a lot of crazing on it. Can you see the crazing, the cracks in the glaze? So I'm going to heat these up, and I'll rub in on just on the outside some red iron oxide, just on the outside portion here. That will give it a little bit of, I don't know. I think I applied the glaze kind of thick, and so it's crazed like that. But I think it could look. I'll do one of them anyway with some red iron oxide. So that's that. Couple of bottle vases, bud vases down here that didn't really come out very well, if I'm honest. Not exactly as I wanted. A little bit too black and a bit oxidized. That combination of the red iron oxide slip and the white glaze over the top, if it gets oxidized, it tends to go rather black like that. Anyway, such is life. You learn by your mistakes, and then you have to make adjustments. Woo! Oh yeah, I didn't show you these, did I? These guys, they came out pretty nice actually. I was kind of pleased with these. I was kind of playing around with a sort of traditional shape, and this is a little small handled bottle, as you can see, with wood ash just simply sprayed over. Now if you were to look at that, you'd probably think, oh, nice wood fired pot there, Simon. Well, not so. Gas fired, but with wood ash. Wood ash cheating. So I don't have all the hassle of having to fire a wood kiln. Anyway, yeah, I've got a few of these here. They're all similar, but wood ash can be quite attractive, I think, when it sort of runs a bit like that. You don't want it to run too much, do you? But There's those guys. A few more here, show you again, pretty much the same idea. Just traditional sort of small bottle with a loop handle for to get your finger around, you know. Another one here, and one other one which I did, which was thrown round, but I squashed it, so it's sort of like that, you know. Yeah, quite a lot of drippage here, as you can see, but it's kind of nice, isn't it, when it drips all the way down but it doesn't quite run off, you know. It's sort of like, yeah, I like it when it does that. I don't know why, but I do. Anyway, there you go, a little flask, I think is the word, isn't it? Well, thanks for joining us, folks. Yeah, we're just carrying on here making pots. We had a workshop this past weekend, and now, yeah, I've got a spell until next workshop I do actually is at the beginning of August 1st and 2nd, and I have only one person, so if anybody wants to come on a workshop, then get in touch. There's plenty of space there. We've got at least 4 spaces, so if that's something that appeals to you, then it's beautiful here in Milheim. It's hot at the moment, I have to say, pretty sweaty, humid. If you are, let's say, perhaps you are on holiday and you are driving around, and maybe you are one of my YouTube viewers, or maybe you're a potter, please, you know, if you're in our locality, if you're in our neck of the woods, then please give me a call or email me and say, look, I'm going to be passing by in a few days. Is it okay if we drop in? Yes, the answer is yes. Please drop in. Just drop in. Don't feel, you know, bad for that. I like people that, you know, if they're in the area and they drop in, so feel free. Best to give us a call maybe the day before or the day before that, you know, just to make sure we're going to be here in case I'm not shopping or something. So yeah, if you're on holiday and you're traveling, then please feel free to look us up. Okay folks, thanks for joining us. Visit my website, simonleachpottery.com. All of these pots here will be, well, not necessarily all of them, but a good many of them will be going up there on the website, and please go and have a look, see if there may be something that you like there. And yeah, and above all, we keep practicing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.